All right, we're going to talk a bit more about FIFA now and the international reaction to that. James Creedon is here with MediaWatch. Good to see you, James.
Likewise, Laura.
We're going to start with all the front pages today. There's a lot of glee, isn't there, and a lot of kind of rubbing it in. Sepp Blatter leaving the stage. You know, just a few days ago, he was, some say, being a little bit arrogant, and then yesterday, we just seemed to give it all up.
Out the door, and the perfect photo opportunity. I think we already looked at this photo yesterday, but it was on the front pages of a whole load of papers this morning, where he was leaving that FIFA press conference, the impromptu press conference, and one of the aides was opening this door, the lights coming through. It looks almost divine, sort of the doorway to heaven, but probably not. And there he is, backed into a corner, as the headline in the French sports daily L'Equipe puts it. That's on the front cover also of The Guardian. Downfall, they are dubbing it. Meanwhile, in the Brazilian press, you have this headline, End of an Empire. That's for Metro. And also in the Brazilian press, domino effect, because, of course, what led to Sepp Blatter's downfall was the fact that 7 of his co-executives at the head of FIFA were swooped on in that Swiss hotel, 6 a.m., put your clothes on, get out. And you're facing charges. And just one more front page on that theme. This is in a Venezuelan daily. FIFA loses its head with a few flies, Laura, flying around that decapitated
People are getting very
body.
creative there.
Indeed.
Now, we're also looking at the next World Cups, of course. I just mentioned it, in Russia 2018 and in Qatar in 2022. There's a lot of pressure now for the circumstances surrounding the awarding of those tournaments to be looked at in more detail.
That's right.
Was there bribery going on there? We don't know.
That's right. A lot of people on social media saying these need to be reattributed. This needs to be looked at again. The front page of the Daily Telegraph this morning as well. So from last night, really, and certainly this morning, that has been one of the central questions. Are these World Cups now in doubt? And indeed, that's the photo.
And the British press is particularly excited about this because, of course, they lost out, didn't they?
That's right. And indeed, the US as well. And as Marina Hyde in The Guardian says in this article, she said, they call Afghanistan the graveyard of empires, but history may judge Qatar to have been Sepp Blatter's fatal act of expansion. And indeed, because the UK and the US were other candidates in that bid, some cynics even saying, did this perhaps even alert the US authorities all the more to maybe murky dealings going on. So there you go. That's some element of speculation.
It's a good time to release a film about FIFA.
That's right. And this was commissioned by Sepp Blatter, about Sepp Blatter, United Passions. It's coming out in the US in the next week or so. And as in that same article we just saw in The Guardian, she's comparing it to where you have photos of people holding up statues of deposed dictators in the deposed dictator's palace, and that really that's the kind of sensation people will have when they go to see this film when it comes out next week, because it's all in the glory, it's for the glory of Sepp Blatter and the spread of the beautiful game around the world, and what wonderful, noble, honourable individuals they all are, or not, as the case may be.
And everyone's talking this week about Andrew Jennings. This, of course, is the journalist who broke the story really in the first place, didn't he? That's
right. He couldn't be more gleeful, Laura. Every interview you read,
he's enjoying himself this week.
He definitely is. The Washington Post got a hold of him, and he was talking about the swoop on the 7 executives which preceded Sepp Blatter's resignation. Isn't it wonderful? He said. You were in one of the world's most luxurious hotels, all expenses paid, champagne a go-go, and then knock, knock, knock. Police officers are there. You have to put your clothes on. They are never going to be in a luxury hotel again, he said. Also gleeful about...
Why didn't they have their clothes on?
Well, I suppose they were in bed with a hangover. Right. And then he's talking about Herr Blatter, as he calls him, who won't be able to sleep tonight. Serves him right. He's not a nice man. He goes on then to say that I've known their criminal scum for years, and that's a thoughtful summation. That is not an insult. He speaks also about how they're going to get to know Rikers Island very well, because they could be flight risks if they're being if they're in front of a US courtroom. He also says that when they end up on front of a US courtroom, he wants to be there in the press box saying, "Hi guys, it's been a long run." Hasn't it? Because, of course, over the last 15 years, BBC Panorama exposés in 2006 and 2010, 2 books.
He got roughed up a bit, didn't he?
I think it was one of the vice presidents who punched him in the face and spat on him for being accused of bribery, which...
I saw he was getting pushed around a bit in one of those documentaries. The big question now is who will follow in Blatter's shoes and take over FIFA.
All right, very quickly on that one, Michel Platini, the head of UEFA, is being mentioned as one of the favourites. And, well, some speculation about whether he's fully transparent as well. The head of Transparency International, the head of the sports section, Sylvia Schenk, considers Platini not to be a strong candidate. She says that his son is at the head of a sports equipment company, Burda Sport, which belongs to a Qatari investment fund. Platini himself was a strong supporter of Qatar's bid in 2022, which is, of course, now one of the controversial elements of the FIFA legacy, or the legacy of the last leadership. So perhaps not the best candidate to take over at a time when all of this needs to be reviewed and corruption needs to be completely aired and done away with.
All right, could be a lot of political wrangling going on.
Indeed.
All right. James, thank you very much
Thanks,
indeed.
Laura.
James Queen in there.